Well, this morning we continue our series Enough focus on mental health, specifically the challenges Black men are facing. In speaking with most of these men, they've revealed many issues they face stem from unhealed childhood trauma. Situation happened when they were younger, and it's hard to undo what's been taught. My next conversation is with Patrick Jefferson, who addresses what it was like being in a household where seeking outside help wasn't always a top priority. Here's his story. Did you talk about mental health growing up?
No, mental health was not a thing that we talked about in the house. And I want to say it was due to my parents, like they weren't like aware of the topics that could come of mental health, or like they just brushed it off of their shoulders and said, it'll be fine.
How do you think that impacted you?
I guess the dynamic came in of like, if I can't talk about it with my family, then I really can't talk about it with nobody. My dad he suffered from drug abuse. And it was kind of like the elephant in the room for the family. One day the DARE program came to our school. They were telling us about like, if you are a loved one or someone you know is like impacted by drug abuse, like, you know, like you can reach out to us, you can come and speak to us. I brought up the DARE program to my mom, and it was met with, why would you go and speak to like an outside source about this? It was basically, you're airing out family business that doesn't need to be aired out. It definitely let me bottle up a lot of things that came out to hurt me later in life.
What do you mean by that?
Summer after I graduated from college, I experienced like a trigger from my past childhood.
What was the situation?
It was behavior from my dad. It brought me back to that place of like where I was a child and kind of like how I felt hopeless and like stuck in a situation that I couldn't get out of. But before I got to like the end all be all goal of suicide, I had to like step back, calm myself down, and realize like everything I'd be leaving.
What do you hope you sharing your story will do for someone else?
You have so many Black men committing suicide and going through these struggles, and at a certain point you have to ask yourself, what am I going to do to help stop this?
If you have problems you're trying to work through, there's always the national hotline, the number that's on your screen. But I also want to draw your attention to resources available through Dallas ISD. Commissioner John Wiley Price reached out to us about those resources, and so did my colleague Damon Fernandez. The district has professionals ready and willing to help you out. They also offer resources for the entire family. So that's just something to keep in mind. You can find all this information on our website, WFAA.com/Black Mental Health.